Factor follow-up segment tonight. Last week, American student Amanda Knox was sentenced to 26 years in an Italian prison for murdering her roommate, a British student.
Well, I'll tell you one way it is not like the Duke lacrosse case right away. 48 Hours wasn't running special after special after special on how the Duke lacrosse players were innocent. You didn't have the media saying that actually innocent people were innocent. We always get this from liberals. They want to defend the guilty and prosecute the innocent. And it's not just the Duke lacrosse players, but if I can just say, because the American media, I mean, this is like a Manson murder throughout Europe. They're fixated on the case. The evidence is coming out in the European newspapers, like with the global warming emails, like with the Fort Hood shooting. You know, you have to go to the European newspapers to get the facts on this case. And you keep hearing people say there's absolutely no evidence, no evidence. I'll just give you 4 quick pieces of evidence. One is her story was, and she wasn't a suspect at first, she was a witness because this was her roommate. She was on the scene. For 5 days, she said she spent the entire night at her boyfriend's house. On the 5th day, the cop said to her, "No, we know you were at the house at some point that night." And then she said, "Yes, I was at the house and I heard my boss rape and murder my roommate." She fingers another guy. The cops arrest him, Patrick Lumumba, hold him for 14 days, and then find out he has an absolutely rock-solid alibi. Now, why is she fingering someone whom she claims she heard rape and murder the roommate when that guy is clearly completely innocent of this crime? And as for the forensic evidence, I mean, one thing that is not coming out in the media is they had cleaned the entire apartment with bleach. So even though Amanda Knox had been living in that apartment for months and had been there that morning by her own accounting, there was only one fingerprint of hers found in the entire house. So it's not like the place is littered with DNA and they didn't find a lot of hers. One of her footprints was found in the room that had been ransacked and made to look like there was a break-in, except the window was broken from the inside, not the outside. Her boyfriend's bloody fingerprint was found on the bra strap of the murder victim. The boyfriend's footprint was found outside.
He was convicted, the boyfriend, right?
Yes, he was. Right. Boyfriend's footprint was found outside the room, and 3 spots of the victim's blood mixed with Amanda Knox's blood. 3 blood spots were found in the bathroom.
Why was Amanda Knox bleeding? Do we know?
Well, it would suggest that it wasn't necessarily her blood. It was her DNA in Meredith's blood.
Well, they said the DNA levels, Van Sant said the DNA levels were just too low, and they never would have made it to a U.S. court, that there just wasn't enough. And also that her story was shaky because the cops roughed her up, kept her, in an interrogation situation.
Okay, well, let's take that. First, we'll take her claim, as they always claim, I falsely accused someone else because the cops were mean to me.
Yeah, the cops were mean to me.
Okay, well, she had 14 days to rest up and recant while they interrogated the guy she fingered. They interrogated him. They held him for 14 days. They find out none of his DNA is at the apartment. He had never been to the apartment. And they find out he has a rock-solid alibi. So don't tell me, oh, I fingered somebody else in a moment of confusion, and then for the next 14 days, I let him sit in prison.
But if there isn't physical evidence, you're saying that they sanitized the crime scene, right? They went over it. And
let me add, there are witnesses that say, although she said she was in her boyfriend's apartment until 10:30 a.m. the next morning, there's a witness who owns a convenience store or a supermarket who says she was waiting for him to open the next day and went up to get the cleaning supplies. And there's a receipt for bleach. And they bleached the knife. Oh, I neglected the knife. And one of the knives that killed Meredith.
Pretty damning.
You have Amanda Knox's DNA. Wait, this is an important one. Amanda Knox's DNA on the handle. You have the victim's DNA on the blade of the gun and of the knife. Where is the knife found? Not at the apartment, at Amanda's boyfriend's apartment, having been washed with bleach.